one of the projects you recently worked on, which is the fatherhood project. That resonated with me, obviously, because I'm a father. And you look and you listen to these stories, and you're like, I can relate to that. And I think that all the lockdown stuff, where we were all hunkered down and spending more time with our families, it was interesting. So what was it that inspired you to do it? And did the result equal what you were hoping to? Or was it better, worse, more difficult?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a matter of 2016, 17, 18, 19, we're all busy, and I was more focused on the work than the work for like what I wanted to make. And then all of a sudden, the sort of pandemic kicked in, and we had a lot of time on our hands, and it got to the point where I was like, if I'm making excuses that I can't find the time or the space or the ability to do this thing that I've wanted to do since I had a son in 2018, then I'm never going to make it, because now's the time. Now's the only time. And so it was a result of having my first son in 2018 and expecting or anticipating the birth of our second child, which happened a week and a half ago. That kind of, I wanted to share my experience of being a self-employed person with flexible hours and able to spend a lot of time when I wanted to, needed to, could, with my young son. And I looked at the world out there and how it was operating, and how when you go into work a 9 to 5 or 8 to 8, you probably don't see your kid for 5 days at a time, and you just see them at the weekend. So I wanted to show that in the lockdown, it provided this unique opportunity that, I mean, many fathers had never had to spend more time than they ever would with their children and get to know them. And I kind of wanted to take this opportunity, a very unique one, to document 3 fathers and just their experience, from a lawyer to a photographer. So it's sort of across the corporate to creative space, just giving these little vignettes into showing people how life has changed through the kind of lens of fatherhood.
And so what was the result? Obviously, you then had to deal with other things. You couldn't go in with a full man band. You couldn't go with a crew. You couldn't go with everything you wanted. It had to be super nimble and quick.
Yeah.
And so what is it that, you were renting other people's spaces during the COVID lockdown situation. So talk to me about that.
I mean, it was actually really healthy, because it was a return to my roots, if you will. Back to a 5D, the Mark IV this time instead of the Mark II when I first started. But it allowed me to just strip away everything that, overcomplicates projects, and just be like, I'm going to go in with the minimum materials, just me, spend an hour or 2 with these guys, mainly outside, because obviously of COVID restrictions and that in place, and just film and them interacting with their child, and then like have them tell me about it and their experiences. And so it was really healthy, I think, just to return to just basics, just return to the storytelling and not worry too much about the equipment.